Welcome to the Grind to Greatness podcast, where we dive deep into the world of relentless determination, hard work, and unwavering dedication to help you unlock your full potential. We're your hosts, Jonathan and Joseph, and your mentors along this journey to greatness. Each week, we'll bring you inspiring stories, expert insights, and practical tips where we've turned our dreams into reality through sheer grit and resilience. Whether you're looking to excel in your career, improve your health and well-being, or simply level up in life, this podcast is your go-to source for strategies, motivation, and the mindset needed to achieve personal excellence. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Grind to Greatness. This episode is brought to you by Facts Over Fads Nutrition. Stop chasing quick fixes that don't work and don't last, and start getting real, sustainable results and habits with Facts Over Fads Nutrition. Our coaches assess your needs from calories to macros, considering your health, your allergies, and your preferences. We build your programs based on your unique requirements that will continuously get better as you grow with us and as you grow with your coach. Get optimized meal plans, workouts, and coaching for real success. Enjoy a user-friendly app, 24/7 communication with your coach, and a one-stop shop to log all of your nutrition, workouts, and progress with Facts Over Fads. Let's optimize your health today. Head over to factsoverfads.com to get signed up.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's get signed up. Sign me up, man.
I know, we're about to. Right after this, bro. What's up, man? What you been doing?
It's been a while since we've been here, so I'm just trying to get into the vibe, back on the podcast, back into the groove, back with Joseph, looking small next to me.
No.
All the things.
Yeah. Man, we haven't talked in about 2 months, so to give the listeners an idea, we don't know if this is going to work, but we had some microphone issues. We thought it was my phone, so I got a new phone specifically to record the podcast. That's dedication right there, bro.
Yeah.
That's loyalty. I just want to let you know, anyone who goes and gets a new phone specifically for filming a podcast and the success of a podcast, that's loyalty.
It's dedication. But it also happened at a good time. My business got contracted out through a team, and so I had to go in the lab and fix all the leak holes that you find when you're trying to scale and grow. And so me being maxed out with time back to 3 a.m.s and working early mornings, required to work early mornings to build a business to fix the leak holes, and then from literally 8 to 6 p.m. is doing that job, and then the evening time training team. So I didn't think I had time to do a podcast. So it's like a perfect moment. And now I've been in the system for about almost 2 months. I've kind of plugged the holes a little bit, bought my time back, got my wife. She's going to go part-time.
Oh?
Yeah, so I'm able to buy her. So basically, entrepreneurs, you're trying to buy your time back into your system, into your business, right? So right now, you always have to start with both. You always have to do both. You got to find whatever's going to make you money to sustain your current living situation. And also, you have to create time to build your business. And then you have to find that balance of when to buy yourself out. And so one of the biggest things is, what's my biggest pain point? It's seeing my wife work. And so I could buy a little bit of my time back, but I'd rather buy her time back because the system is broken at the house. I have a tired wife.
Dang.
So I need her back in to make me feel more energized, to have the household kind of things ready to go, taking care of the kids. And so that's exciting.
That's super exciting, bro.
Part-time.
Yeah.
And also she's going to go and learn how to really focus on when she's off from work, to go all in social media. Mm-hmm. She's built a little confidence where she's getting some passive income from TikTok shop. Mm-hmm. And that's all people need. They just need a little bit of there's money coming in. Yeah. And then you start, what if I do a little bit more work? How much more money can I make? And so then she's going to have to go through the mental process of working for yourself, which is harder than what most people think it is. I think a lot of people want to work for themselves. And then when you get there, you're like, holy shit.
Yeah. You know what, bro? This is not off topic, but I've been I know as a mentor, you should try to help people lean into things and buy into things, bro. I've been trying to push people away from entrepreneurship. I'm like, you're not cut out. You're not ready. You're not just go, mostly for coaches. I'm like, just go to Crunch Fitness and fucking be a trainer for them.
Absolutely. It's cutthroat. I was at a birthday party and I'm sitting around a table with older people who are in their professions, in their careers, making decent money. And I'm the only entrepreneur there. And they get on the conversation. They don't know me too well. They know I'm an entrepreneur and that I do real estate and starting up another business. But they get on the topic of entrepreneurship and they talk about how easy it would be to start a business up and stuff like this. And I'm just looking at them. I'm like,
go do it.
I was like, wait a minute. I was like, I'm an entrepreneur. Like, I literally sacrifice fucking everything. I was like, to have a gut, you gotta be twisted in the mind to want to do entrepreneurship, because the roller coaster ride that you're gonna get on is fucking insane. And your gut has to be so fucking strong that you can't be willing to tap out. Yeah. Like, at all.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think y'all know, y'all have to experience it.
Well, you have this fake illusion of, I'm with a corporate company and this corporate company is successful, and for whatever reason, just money's flowing in. So if this company can do it, I can do it. But when you start from scratch and you create a brand that no one knows about, that no one even, you have zero reputation, you have zero experience, you're day one, like, in the industry as a brand new brand, as an entrepreneur, bro.
And you don't even know what the fuck you're doing.
And when shit breaks, you don't know how to fix it. and when you want to clock out at 5 p.m. and you can't because shit's broken and you got to fix it. And again, it's like, to extreme ownership is like a fraction, I think, of the mentality needed to be an entrepreneur. Because as an entrepreneur, if something goes wrong, it is 1,000% your fault.
100%, yeah.
And you need to figure out how to fix it. It doesn't mean that maybe you hire someone to help you fix it, but you still got to figure out how to fix it.
Well, that's the problem. In the early stages, you have no money. So it is just you. There's no team. There's no nothing. You have to getting it off the ground is probably the number one reason why people can't make it past 2 to 3 years, is you haven't got it off the ground. Why? Because it's just you, and you are not skilled at everything. Elon Musk, I think it's Elon, he said entrepreneurship is like staring into the abyss and eating glass.
God dang.
Perfect. I can't describe it much better, because you're staring into the abyss of, you don't know what to do. There's so much shit. There's no pathway. It's just blackness, and you have to literally take one step, and then you find out, oh, you fell fucking really far down. And then you like have to have some kind of faith that the next step you take, you don't fall, and then you actually fall again. Yeah. And then eating glass, he's like, this is the biggest problems. Everybody gets to entrepreneurship because you're really passionate about something, right? But then when you get into the entrepreneurship,
for sure,
you realize the business, you're not doing what you wanted to do, right? You may love fitness, so you start a fitness business, but you realize you're not doing fitness as much because you have to focus on business, the shit that you don't like, which kills you because you are not good at it.
And I think, so going back to, we're both from Camp Gladiator, man, so this should be season 7, I think. So way back in the day when we told y'all our story, we both come from Camp Gladiator, right? Yeah. One of the big selling points for me to Camp Gladiator, I remember blatantly, her name was Ruth Mallory. She was my recruiter.
Oh, she's the sweetest.
Yeah.
Love her.
And I get on a phone call with her. I'm at Gold's Gym. I'm a fitness manager. And she's like, Joseph, do you love, training your clients? I'm like, I fucking love training my clients, man. Like, that's all I want to do. Hey, Camp Gladiator is a spot for you. All you got to do is train. You don't got to do anything else. Camp Gladiator's going to handle it for you.
And they did back in the day.
I'm sold, bro. I'm sold. And then, you get into it, though, but you still have to make calls. You still have to do text messages. You still have to sell. You still have to upsell. You still have to convince people not to cancel. You still have to babysit. You still got to do some shit. Yeah. You got to learn the systems. You got to learn the promo codes. You got to learn all this stuff. And I think that's why I was listening to one of our episodes yesterday, and it was telling us that we were talking about burnout, right? And so, again, to your point, I'm passionate about fitness. I'm going to go start my own fitness business. And you don't understand how much business is a part of your fitness business. Yeah. And so that's why people burn out, is I don't think people don't fully understand the width of what it takes Like maybe like depth is one thing, but like you have to wear all the hats.
Yeah.
You're the CEO, the CFO, you're the coach, you're the marketer, you're the social media manager, you're HR, you're right. Like you're all of these things in the beginning. And it's so funny, man. I used to, me and my clients have a really good banter back and forth, I think, for the most part. And, sometimes we'll jump on calls and a cuss word will slip out. I'm like, Joseph, don't cuss. I'm like, all right, do me a favor, call HR.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
I'm like, oh, wait, it's me. And they're like, you're an idiot. And so, but yeah, man, I think we got super off topic, my bad. But
no, I mean, this is direction. It's talking about business and getting better. So we're right on path.
So you're at this table. They're talking about entrepreneur and how easy it'd be to start their company.
Yeah, and it's just how confused I was and because at that point, I was in the darkest moments all over again of, man, my days are maxed out. Yeah. And I have an opportunity in front of me. And if I don't fucking hit a home run, then I'm back into the abyss of not knowing if I'm ever going to get another client, another big client, right? And I've been at this for a year and a half. A year and a half of putting something out there, testing it, didn't land. Putting something out there, testing it, didn't land. Putting something out there, testing it, didn't land. And it still hasn't landed, right? And to go through all that, be a year and a half in, have people ask you, well, how's it going? And you have to sit there and fucking tell them, haven't landed nothing. Well, you've been at it for a year I know, I've been at it for a year and a half, and I'm still having to work and max out my day from 3 a.m. to 10 p.m. That has been my life for a year and a half. I've sacrificed family time, going out, cut out friends. Everything has been completely removed to focus on this one thing, and I still haven't landed. I don't think people really understand how much depression, the mentality, how much stress and anxiety that you have to learn to handle, which is why I'm a mental performance coach, specifically for this reason. I had to learn how to solve that problem because in the early stage, I couldn't handle it. You know how many times I wanted to quit in Camp Gladiator? Bro, I probably quit and cried a handful of times, and my wife talked me off the edge. She's like, oh, nah, motherfucker. You're all in now. Like, you ain't quit now. And so I always like to find out what's the gap for me? What do I need to fix? And that's why I went into behavioral psychology and mental performance, is I had to learn how to master me and my mind. So that way I can take these massive actions and be able to execute. There's no way I would be able to handle this amount of stress and anxiety this long and feel at the same time amazing in it, because I've learned to love the process.
Well, I think if you look back, we've been doing this podcast for a year, right? So like Thanksgiving, I'll never forget last Thanksgiving, bro. And I was like on my laptop and I was telling you I'm trying to convert the videos. It's fucking taking forever. And I was like, man, can you try to do this for me? Like you uploaded a video or two. And because it was fucking terrible system, terrible process. And I fixed it. But, so we've been at this for a year. If I think back to your journey a year ago, your vision of what you were going to do back then compared to like your vision and direction now, I think right now is a lot more clear, right? Yeah. So it's like, man, in just a year ago, again, so you said a year and a half, but just a year ago, you were all over the place. You were like, I just know I want to work with athletes. I just know I want to work with like getting these people some daily habits and routines, but you didn't have systems, you didn't have clarity, you didn't have directions, you didn't have leaderboards, you didn't have calls, you didn't have any of this stuff, right? And so yeah, from a are we a millionaire yet? No. Like, yeah, we're not there yet. Yeah. But like, if you think back of your growth in just the last 12 months, you're like, okay.
All those iterations, when somebody asks me, are you there yet? And I say no, but all those failures throughout the year and a half has created a system that each time that failure hit, there was a lesson that was instilled into the program. Mm-hmm. There was a new process that was instilled into the program. Mm-hmm. There was new systems that were instilled in the program. And as all those failures were coming together, it started to shape my company and my business. And it started to have bones and clarity. Because like you said, I didn't know. I just knew this is kind of what I wanted to do. And then I'll throw something out there. And then I failed. And then it got clearer. And then it got clearer to now in my program. Man, there's a whole system. There's a whole coaching process. There's leaderboards, like you said. There's leadership development for athletes. There's challenges for those leaders to go through to take their athletes in to learn leadership skills. It's alive, and there's a heartbeat, and it moves. And at the very beginning, it was just like Frankenstein, and it's like the failures of trying to build Frankenstein until you finally get it to wake up.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh shit, man, this is exactly what I need to be. But at the very beginning, it was looking to the abyss and eating glass. I didn't know. So those failures along the process were actually wins. So when you ask me, have I succeeded yet? Each failure is a success. The fact that I'm able to keep pushing forward and learn the lesson, that's what entrepreneurship is. And if you don't look at entrepreneurship and that failure is necessary, that's where you lose.
Well, going back to Elon Musk, it's October 20th, so maybe last week he sent his rocket off and the booster came back to the port and landed, and he built a machine that caught the booster of the rocket. So it's like completely, like, it saves him so much money. It eliminates a bunch of like waste and debris and stuff like that of it just landing in the ocean somewhere.
Yeah.
Or blowing up in the sky. And so we're watching this live, right? Like, I have a client who works for SpaceX in Galveston and or Corpus Christi, one of those areas. And so she's recording it, right? She's posting about it and so on and so forth. And to me, I was like, I don't even know what like the big deal about this is, right? Like, okay, like the rocket came back or the booster came back and he, built it, right? Or he caught it. And so I go diving in, and it's 2024. I go diving in like, what's the big deal about this? He's been trying to accomplish that since 2012. The first booster catch started in 2012, and it blew up.
Yeah.
Right. And so he's been at this for 12 fucking years, and he finally did it, and it broke the internet.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the next step to, like, again, Elon is putting us back on the map for like the best, the most advanced, the cleanest, the safest, the this, the that. And I'm like, we only know about him because of Tesla.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now he's stepped into the rocket world, and he's doing it better than everyone else. And it's taken 12 years. 12 fucking years.
So this podcast is about fucking getting better, right? Grinding greatness, finding a way to become your absolute best, right? And if you're on that journey, you have to become and get used to becoming your absolute worst. And through that process, it builds you into becoming your absolute best. And the only way to be able to get through that process is you have to start looking at everything almost completely butt-ass backwards.
Yeah.
Butt-ass backwards.
Yeah.
If you're in your shitty moment, it's good.
You said ass twice. Butt-ass
backwards.
It's the same thing.
Butt.
And ass is the same thing.
Backwards.
Ass butt.
Ass butt backwards.
My bad.
You caught that.
Like you said,
You caught that.
In 2 different ways.
So mental performance, you're in mental performance. Like, you have to be in mental performance. And it's basically just learning how your mind works and how to reframe everything to work in your favor. It's leveraging every emotion that you go through to your advantage. Right? You had said, I think I posted something into, I've created a group called Coach's Corner for...
You're actually blocked. You're not even in there anymore.
Yeah, I'm not even in there no more. I got suspended.
And all your posts.
And all my posts. I am completely gone. Facebook deleted me permanently.
Because you know what's funny? So yesterday, I'm like, man, let me dive into the Coach's Corner because I haven't seen him post in a while.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, maybe I'm just missing him. Like, what is the algorithm fucked up? I go into the group. The only post I saw was mine.
Yeah, I know.
And I was like, where'd everything go? Bro, all your shit is gone.
I've been wiped out. And it's so crazy. This is entrepreneurship in a nutshell. I created Coach's Corner, which is a Facebook group for driven coaches, right? To help them build leadership skills, development, like iron sharpens iron. Let's bring the best coaches in and let's continue to hold ourselves to higher standards, because those are the ones that are actually causing all the impact, right? If I can connect with them, that's my clientele. That's my ideal clientele.
I have someone I need you to connect with. My bad. Don't
yeah. So I created that, and I started posting. I started getting a lot of traction. I put systems in place back in social media, and I was getting all these follows. I was getting all these comments. Like, things were popping off. I was like, man, cool. Like, everything is going as like visioned. Things are moving. I'm hitting this home run. And then I try to log into Facebook, make this post, and it says that I've been suspended for 180 days.
For what?
Your Instagram account of some hacker guy is not following the rules, and somehow Facebook thinks it's me. And I was like, oh, and then you lose all momentum. And then you lose all your ideal clients, which are my coaches and people that see me on Facebook, social media, my local community, because that's where my business is growing right now, is from the local community and the local coaches. And so the platform that I was getting all this traction from is now completely 100% gone. And I just look at it and I'm like, I've been through entrepreneurship enough to know that good.
Yeah, good.
Good. Yeah. This is the lesson learned. You put all your eggs into one platform and it's gone. Like, you knew better. But I was like, because I've been holding off of other platforms that are actually gaining a lot of traction, but I didn't have the mental capacity to go and learn it, right? Which is like school. Yeah. School, there's another platform where you get all your people funneled into a different group outside Facebook or something like that. And so, lessons learned, right? You should have all your potential clients in all different platforms. Email listing, right? Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. So that way, if one goes down, like, you're still good. Yeah. Probably the most safe place to have them is your email list.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's yours.
Yeah.
But it's all gone, right? Everything that I've worked for, complete 100% deleted. All my shit. I love my content that I write. So I was just like, oh, fuck. Like, there goes my content. Thankfully, I got them all on my phone. But, how do you handle yourself in that moment? And wife's like, you seem pretty cool about it. And I'm like, yeah. I was like, you know what? Because there's some things that need my attention that I've been putting off. And now I can go fix that. Like, I have 5 ladies that need to be onboarded into my system that I haven't updated yet since I broke it when I onboarded 26 athletes. Because once I onboarded the athletes and I realized it needs to be fixed, there was no urgency to fix it because they're already onboarded. And so now they're like, hey, 5 more or 3 more ladies need to be onboarded. Then I'm like, oh, fuck. Now I need to go back into my onboarding system and like, all right, where is it broken? Where is there need to be more clarity? What happened here? There's some confusion over here. So I didn't want to do that. But now, since there is no social media for me to work on, I was like, now I got time to fix the onboarding system and make that more clear. So that's how entrepreneurship works in a nutshell. Is one thing fucking blows up, and you just have to direct your attention as what's my next best move and keep pushing forward.
Yeah. And you took Desi's account, said, hey, I'm gonna start posting.
Oh yeah. I didn't realize that.
I had to add you. I had to add her.
I was like, so I got scared because I was all like, man, I added myself from Desi's account, and I'm like, how are you going to accept her approval?
Yeah, I can. I don't know why I'm a moderator or something.
Maybe because you made a post. I have no idea. And I was like, damn, Jay, you didn't make anybody a moderator. You didn't make anybody an admin. I was like, you really are a rookie at this. And then I'm like, when she got accepted, I was like, oh, great, the hacker accepted her. I was all like, oh, great, he's making moves on my social media.
Yeah.
This dude. Well, anyways, so that's where, I've been is, in the lab.
Yeah.
Growing, getting more skilled and handling a workload and a lot better.
Yeah.
What about you, brother? Past 2 to 3 months?
Bro, I was actually a little... So I had to let go of my assistant. It was 2-part. 1, it was a financial decision. And then 2, unfortunately, technology's caught up with the app that we use, and we can now schedule out posts. And so I was using her a lot for time-stamped posts, so I didn't have to think about it. I was like, hey, on this day post this, on this day post this, in the app for our new people. And so now the app can schedule it all out. So I was like, your job got taken.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now I still have to do that. I still have to do that, but it was like, okay, for now, let me save some money this way. Let me, dive back in, and I can take the responsibility of this real quick. And then if things, kick off, then I can always bring her back. And that's what I told her.
Yeah.
And she sees all of our finances. She sees all of our clients. So she knows. She's like, oh yeah, we were down. And so, so that was probably in August, I think was her last month, and we're in October. And then we brought on 2 more coaches. So we are up to 10 total now. So it's me plus 9. And They're all right. So that was another thing. I was like, man, I have these coaches, but they're not, they're not growing. They're not hustling. They're not motivated to grow. It's like, oh, I tried this, it didn't work. Right? And I'm like, man, how do I like light a fire under your ass?
Well, where do you get these coaches from?
So all over. Some of them are from Camp Gladiator. Some of them just know me or knew me.
Okay.
Some of them were my clients who are super successful. I'm like, I want to be a coach now, and they go get certified. And since they understand the app and the system and stuff, they're like, I think they're great. But from a business standpoint, from a marketing standpoint, from a sales standpoint, they suck, right?
That's again we talked about.
Yeah.
You want to do this thing you're passionate about, but that's not the thing that's going to keep you in business.
Yeah. So there was that, and which has led me now. So we've talked about him before, but I have a buddy, Freddie, he's a high up manager at Amazon, and I know this, but his master's degree and his Air Force career, he is a leadership developer and a mentor. Mm-hmm. And so we go out to eat one night, and he's like, man, what's your vision like for the future? So I tell him like, hey, there's going to come a point in time where I don't want to coach any clients. I want my coaches for Facts Over Fast to be so successful that I make passive income, and I'm not coaching anybody. And he was like, okay, well, what are you doing to grow your coaches? And I was like, right now, nothing. And he's like, so whose fault is it? And I was like, fuck.
Which I told you that.
And so I was like, okay. So then I said, well, luckily I've built a business model that doesn't cost a lot of money. So even if they have one client, no one's really losing any money.
Yeah.
And he's like, but even if you're not losing money, you sure aren't making any money. And if you're not making any money, you're dying. And he's like, so
yes.
if you're not growing, your business is dying.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, you're right. So we leave. I think a little bit about it, but I don't think much of it. An hour and a half later, it's like 10:30 at night. This dude emails me a whole leadership work 5-page document of everything he's typed up that I need to do as a leader. And he has some templates, of course, and he just edited my name and stuff. Yeah. And I was like, bro, he's like, get on it. I was like, fuck, action items, step-by-step instructions, solutions, outcomes, summaries, so on and so forth. So I was like, motherfucker. So I immediately was like, okay. So first thing I need to do is book more coaching calls with my coaches, one-on-one. So I was like, okay, well, that's going to take up, I have 10 coaches and take up 10 hours. And I was like, all right. So I do best coaches, which is an hour every other weekend. Yeah. So I shut that down. I was like, I'm not going to do it anymore. So I ended that. Our last call was yesterday. And so I was like, all right, that gives me a little bit more time, a little bit more mental capacity to dive into my coaches. And I made all my coaches book calls with me. So that's where we're starting now. So my direction will be to pour more into my coaches. I need to manipulate my calendar, my schedule a little bit to have more availability for my build your own coach clients, more availability for my coaches, less availability for every other type of client. Yeah. So, so the kind of the basic level of what we offer, they can go work with someone else, not with me. And then we launched a challenge. So every year, it's our 6th year. Facts Over Fads was founded on a challenge. So the November-December timeframe of 2018 was actually the first time I was like, I'm going to do some nutrition stuff. And I launched a challenge. I got 10 people to sign up. Yeah. And it was like $100. And I think if you paid me $150, I would drive around San Antonio to the supplement shops nearest to you and create bundles of like proteins, pre-workouts, amino acids, fat burners, like whatever you wanted. I would go to the manager. I'll say, hey, my clients are coming in here. They're going to buy this bundle. How much is it? And then can we get a discount? All right, cool. Yeah, it's $200. Send them in. It's $150. I was like, cool. I would text them, hey, go to this shop, talk to this person, get this bundle. They're going to give you a $50 discount. Yeah. I did that for 10 people, bro. Driving around the city for no fucking reason, just to get them some protein. So then I was like, I'm going to do another challenge. And I did another challenge in January through March. And then that one got like 20 or 30 people signed up. And I was like, oh, fuck, this is hard. This is a lot. I can't keep doing this. I'm going to go month to month. So March of 2019 was the first year that I went month to month. And we got like 60 people signed up. Yeah. And I was like, motherfucker. So that brings us to present day for our holiday challenge right now. So we reach $1 million in revenue, right?
Congrats.
Which was a huge, cool thing. And so we did this $100 off our challenge. So whoever signed up, it's $250. I'm gonna refund you $100, and for 24 hours only. And bro, we had like 25 people sign up. It was wild. Now I refunded a fuck ton of money, but like it was worth it, right? We got new people signed up. We got current people signed up. Coaches signed up. And so that was huge. And then I got like 7 build your own coach clients, which is $200 a pop. 7 like overnight. And so this was last weekend. And last weekend, I remember I was like, wait a second. Like, I don't have the capacity to handle all this. Like, there's not enough time in the day.
Yeah.
And so I make a Facebook post and I essentially have to shut down taking on clients. And so I tell the world,
Best thing ever, bro.
yeah, hey, you can't work with me anymore. Fortunately, I put fortunately and unfortunately, like I'm too busy. And so you can work with any of my other 9 coaches. Here's all their links. Here's all their websites, blah, blah, blah. Like you can work with any of my coaches, but I don't have the capacity to do it. And it's funny because my clients see it and my clients are like, am I going to get cut? Am I going to get cut? And I'm like, no, like you're good. I'm just not taking any more.
Yeah.
Right. And so, but it was cool because my clients, were also very like congratulatory.
Yeah.
They're like, that's so awesome, good problem to have.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, it's good for me, but it's how do I build other coaches to do the same thing? And that's the tough part. And a piece of it is I'm an asshole. Like I'm blunt. I'm very to the point on social media. But with that level of like bluntness and directness comes a level of like trust. Like people know they can come to me and get a real no bullshit answer.
Oh man.
Right?
Hold on, stop there. I say that because literally I told my wife, I was like, you look fucking amazing today. And she's like, oh man, I wish you told me that every day. I was like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
Because if I told you every day, it wouldn't mean anything.
Wouldn't mean anything.
And she was all like,
yeah. And so there's some truth to that, right? It's like if I speak, you're going to get the truth. And you're going to get what you need to hear. Now, that's what maybe it's not what you want to hear, but it's what you need to hear.
Yeah.
And so, I had a buddy from high school reach out to me. I haven't talked to this dude in 8 to 10 years. And he's like, bro, I'm ready to sign up. Like, need you to be my coach, blah, blah. And I'm like, bro, I haven't talked to you in 10 years. He's like, I know, but I follow you on social media, and I know you're crushing it. I know you're going to get me to where I need to be. And he knows really nothing about the business at all or what I did. He's just like, I'm just send me to the link. Where do I pay?
What the fuck do I do?
I was like, cool. All right, sign up. And that level of reputation comes from having a no bullshit, honest, direct approach. Because again, people, I think once they're sick of their own bullshit, they're going to go find the truth.
Yeah.
And if you're a coach that's always preaching, it's easy, take this quick pill, this quick fix, and you're bouncing from company to company to company to company to company, no one's ever going to take you serious.
Yeah.
Or if you only dabble in marketing yourself as a coach every so often, I make a post once a week about fitness or nutrition, or maybe even less
Only when
than
there's a
that.
promotion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like no one's going to take you serious. You need to be in the field, in the space every single day. Commenting, posting, sharing, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Emailing, texting, like all of it. You need to be in people's face 24/7 because it's not about right now. Like I was trying to explain this to a person the other day. I don't make a post right now to make a sale right now. Yeah. I make a post right now to maybe make a sale 5 years down the road because someone is going to read it today and it's going to click for them in 5 years. And they're going to reach back out.
Well, not only that, they're going to, before they even make the deal with you, they're going to go look at who this person is. They're going to go see your content.
Right.
All right. They have to know, like, and trust you.
Yeah.
And so that's that radar. It's like when you buy an Amazon product, you're going to go look at all the reviews and make sure this is the right product.
Yeah.
Same thing for you. Yeah. Instead of reviews, I mean, they're just going to go look through the history of what type of person this guy is.
Yep.
Oh, he tells the fucking truth. I need that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And again, sometimes it's not what you want to hear.
it's never what you want to hear.
Yeah. It might be a little bit direct, might be a little bit blunt. And so many people have asked me to change the way that I speak. And I'm like, no, I'm good. Are you sure you want to post that? You should change it this way, that way. I'm like, no, I'm going to leave it just like that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to fake what I feel so that you can accept it better. You know what I mean?
Well, then if you do that, you're bringing the wrong clients and they won't do well in your program.
Yeah. Yep.
And so that's what I tell my athletes all the time. It's like you have to learn how to be coach hard.
Yeah.
And you have to learn how to control your mind and accept feedback.
Yeah.
And instead of come up with some bullshit fucking excuse, I gave a whole speech about excuses. I don't give a fuck about your excuse. I don't give a fuck if you tell me sorry fucking 40 times.
Yeah.
All I want as a coach is see you have a positive body language and make the adjustment. Own it, positive body language, make the fucking adjustment. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
If I can see that, you're coachable.
Yeah.
If I see body language go down, if I see you about to say something of an excuse or a sorry, like, I don't need none of that.
Yeah.
Just show me you can make the adjustment. That's all I want.
And it's tough, but once you implement it, it works so well. I was talking to a client yesterday, and she's just like, we've been working together for years. She's made a little bit of progress, but nothing to brag home about, right?
Yeah.
And we get on our call yesterday, and she just talks to me about how hard of a week she had, and that's the reason she didn't make any progress. And I was like, hey, heart to heart, man to woman, you haven't made progress in a year. So this week is, I don't care how hard it was, like that's not an excuse, right? Like, you've had good weeks and you haven't made any progress, you know? And so then she goes into the excuses of, oh, I'm just so exhausted. I'm just so this. I was like, whoa. I was like, let's change these words. Like, don't say you're just so exhausted from school, right? Like, you should be grateful you have a job and income. Like, I know people who are struggling with income right now, and you don't have to worry about income. Like, you have a very secure job. So let's start to be grateful for what you do get to go do. And let's be optimized to have your meal prep, to go to your workouts, to whatever the case. Because if you're always, I'm exhausted, so I'm going to skip my workout today. We're all exhausted. But if you keep telling yourself you're exhausted, you're going to be exhausted.
Yeah.
Like, you need to learn, like, you know, the whole fuck it mentality. Like, just, I'm exhausted. Fuck it. I'm still going to go work out.
So reframe. I mean, this is a reframe. I love to tell my athletes all the fucking time. It's like, when you feel like you don't do it and you have your bad days, or you go through your season, or you're demotivated, whatever, good, because you need to learn how to be proactive in that season. That's where the separation is, because everyone's not going to do good when they're not feeling good. But that should be your cue. Oh, wait, I don't feel good. This is for me to separate. Yeah. This is where I can learn to get better. Because if you don't ever learn how to master that little phase, you're always going to go revert back to what's comfortable, not doing nothing. Yeah. But now it's the cue. I want those. That's for you to practice in. I need more of those. And then it reframes. I'm like, oh, you're telling me I need bad days? Yes. You got to have. That's where you get the lift. How do you become strong? You have to feel weak. When do you feel weak? On those bad days. Go lift the weight. That's where you get strong. So now they look optimistic towards those things versus, I'm having a shitty day. I'm not going to do nothing.
Yeah. No. I learned that from...
you smell that?
What was that?
That's what I tell them. They think I'm fucking crazy. I was like,
you are crazy.
I was like, you smell that? That's where we separate. And they think I'm fucking crazy because I'm always sniffing shit. I was like, you smell that? It's Friday evening. Nobody's doing shit. I was like,
this is your time to get
yeah. So that's my thing right now. I'm like, you smell that? They're like, what is he doing? He said, are you a dog? I was like, oh, yeah. I'm looking for that separation.
That's so funny. So I just watched the interview between Chris Williamson and Christopher Bumstead. And so Chris C-Bum, he just won his 6th Mr. Olympia title, right? And he talks a lot about that. He's very open and vulnerable with, like, his hardships.
Yeah.
You know?
Gotta be, man.
And he's like, bro, I'll never forget, like, and this is where he talks a lot about picking a strong spouse. And he's like, I'll never forget, like, sometimes I'll just cry. He's like, and I'm just crying. And my wife is like, it's okay, go to the gym. And you know what I mean? Like, she's not like, take the day off. She's not like, you deserve a day off. Yeah. It's okay to cry because of who you are. She's just like, okay, own it. You know, sit in this moment. All right, go work out.
Why do you think I'm buying my wife's time out before my time? Man. Is because I need her, as she's my spine. I have hard and shitty days, and I'm very vulnerable. And I talked about, like, a lot of men don't want to, like, express their feelings to their wife, but if you look at it, and you look at the history of, like, the greatest men alive, they all had one strong woman. What do you think that one strong woman did for them? They were there when they felt like giving up. They were there through the fucking bullshit. So that means they had to express feelings to this person, and they brought them back into the fucking game, and they fucking went to go execute. So my wife time, getting her time back, allows her to be more focused on helping me achieve this mission, because this is the biggest mission. All right, if I can execute this, it's the home run to everything.
Yeah, it's hugely helpful to have that person in your corner and understanding their role, and you understanding their role, to be like, you know what, it's like, it's not her responsibility to bring in money. Let's just say that's not her responsibility. It doesn't make her happy. It doesn't make you happy, right? But sometimes I think we get in this mindset of like money will make us happy.
Yeah.
And so it's like everyone should just work and grind and work and grind. It's like it's probably gonna burn out, soon. And then again, for you, for whoever the entrepreneur is or whoever the go-getter is, to have this safe space to come home to and be like, if I cry, she doesn't care. If I have a bad day, she doesn't care. But she's also not gonna like make it worse, and she's also not gonna like tell me to take a day off. She's gonna be like, it's okay, get back out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's what his story was about. And so the interview was 3 weeks out from the Olympia. The Olympia was last weekend, so this was probably like a month ago that he did this interview. And it made me think. So this kind of brings me to like where I'm at present day of just stomping out stupid ass coaches with stupid ass feedback, with stupid ass marketing tactics.
Yeah, you've been on that,
bro. I've been crushing it.
Yeah.
So Sebum is 6'2". He's a male. He's 10% body fat in his off season, maybe 15% body fat in his off season, and he's about 260 pounds. Right. 3 weeks out from a show, he steps on stage at like 247. He said he needs to lose 9 pounds. So he was 256, right? So he's 256 pounds, 6'2", male, steroided out the ass. And he's eating 2,200 calories, okay? And he's in a cut, and he's trying to lose 9 pounds. And so it got me thinking, because sometimes like coaches or clients will take my meal plan and give it to their coach, like their trainer.
Yeah, to kind of verify.
Yeah, like, hey, this is what my nutritionist told me to do, blah, blah, what do you think? And the coach's feedback is always, that's not enough food.
Oh,
that's not enough calories. And I'm like, you're a 5'1", 150-pound female who works out twice a week.
Yeah.
And I gave you 1,400 to 1,500 calories. Sebum is a fucking 6'2", 250-pounder, works out twice a day, 14 times a week, and he's eating 500 calories more than you.
Ask me how many calories I need to eat to be shredded.
I don't know. I should know this. It's like 1,700, right?
No.
What is it?
It's 15.
It's 1,500?
15.
Yeah.
Fuck. I work out every day.
Yeah.
I do a cardio an hour every single day. So every day, an hour workout, an hour cardio, 1,500 fucking calories. Jonathan can be lean.
Yeah. It's wild. And so when I see these fucking Facebook posts or these coaches' feedback that are like, you're not giving your clients enough food and blah, blah, blah. And a girl tried to challenge it in the comments who's not a coach. She's a competitor. Well, she wants to be a competitor. She's never competed. And she has a minor in nutrition. So she's like, you're essentially giving an adult the amount of calories
of a toddler.
For a toddler. Did you see that? Of a toddler.
I
was like, first of all,
my toddler would be obese if they ate 1,500 calories.
But it's two different. It's a toddler is in the most metabolically active state of their life by growing years 1 through years 5, right? So of course they're going to need more calories per pound than an adult who's trying to go the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Right? You're trying to get your toddler to gain 20 pounds. Yeah. Adults are trying to lose 20. It's a completely different metabolic activity, completely different phase of life. And you just don't understand nutrition requirements as we age if you're going to compare us to a toddler, right? Toddlers need different medicines than us. Like, okay, you want to compare that? Like, you're an idiot. And so stomping this shit out, man, and giving clients more accountability, more clear direction. And I'm like, if you don't think 15 calories is working for you, how about you try it first?
Yeah.
How about you actually try it with no cheat days? Right?
That's the number one problem. You won't get nobody that can actually adhere to something 100% because nobody knows how to go all in.
Right.
That is the number one problem. Why people can't be successful is they don't know how to go all in, and they'll just jump from one thing to another thing, not knowing how to go all in, which they all work if you just went all in.
Yeah.
All of them work.
All of them work.
You just don't know how to go all in, which is, that's not the problem.
Whatever you want.
The root problem is you're just inconsistent. That's the problem you need to solve, mental performance.
And going back to my client conversation with the way she was talking to herself, she said that she's like, Joseph, this is just what always happens. I have good week, good 2 weeks, and then I fall completely off track. And I go, well, because you keep telling yourself this is what always happens.
So you're going to start looking for those signs.
You're going to start looking for ways to give up. You're going to start looking for things to fall off track. You're going to start making excuses for yourself. And so I was like, get out of that frame of mind first. And then I said, and she's single and she's been dating and stuff. I go, when you're dating, you try to be the best you can be, right? Like for the other person. right? Like you're gonna make sure you do your makeup, you're gonna make sure you look pretty, you're gonna make sure you're there for them, you're gonna make sure you communicate well, you're gonna make sure you do all these things to make a good impression on this date, right?
Yeah.
Or on the person that you are dating. I go, imagine you're dating a 50-pound lesser version of you, right? What do you owe this version of you? Because right now, I don't think that version deserves you going to Chick-fil-A, you missing a workout because you had a bad day, you doing all this stuff. And I go, so you're so good at dating and pouring yourself into other people, date yourself 50 pounds down from now.
Yeah.
And what does that person deserve? And she was like, you're right. Okay, I got it. So I'm like, so when you have a weak moment and you want to go drink alcohol and you want to fall off your meal plan, would your date appreciate that?
Yeah.
And that date is you and 50 pounds down from now, however long that takes.
Yeah.
I was like, so you have to reframe your mind, and you have to, again, to your point, go all in before you tell me something doesn't fucking work.
Learn for all right. So if you want to break down the root why people can't be successful, right? It's the inability to go and learn. The learning curve is completely 100% stopped. When they hit a problem, they just shift. They just move, right? It didn't work, right? And so it's not that it didn't work. It works. Everything you do actually works. You don't work. You're the tool. And you have a broken tool, and you apply this broken tool to everything you do. So then everything you get back is broken. Nothing is going to work because you are broken. And the only way to fix it is not jump to one thing to the next. It is to fix your tool. And nobody wants to do that because it requires free time. And that is the number one reason why you won't be successful, because you don't have time to go do anything. You never learn how to create free time. And so that always boils down to mental performance. Your mindset is everything.
I think everyone has free time. I think they just spend it on bullshit.
You don't know how to create free time.
Yeah.
You don't know how to create free time. And so that's what my program literally is about for my athletes, is we have to learn how to create free time. And the easiest way to do it is just wake up earlier.
Yeah.
Because during the day, you're being pulled from everything. It's a little bit more difficult. Yes, we can create free time during the evening time by shutting off social media, by changing some habits, but those are much more harder habits. You're tired, you're exhausted, trying to do anything in the evening time where you have your free time. You're lifting heavier weights, and at the early stages of trying to get wins, you don't want to lift the heavier weights. You want to get the early wins, which is by, can I just wake up 30 minutes earlier?
Yeah.
Momentum, right? Because you're just looking for a little bit momentum, like to feed the confidence. And then you're like, oh, fuck yeah, I got some confidence. You know what? I can shut my phone off at 9 p.m. and actually go read for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? Because you actually shown some signs of success. Mm-hmm. And that's all we're looking for. We talked about fitness as the gateway to success because it gives you confidence that you can actually fucking do something. Mm-hmm. Because once you figure out how to actually do something, that is the blueprint for everything, which is why it blows my mind when you see somebody successful in one area, but everything in their life is shit. It's like, no, it is the exact same thing you did in this area. Yeah. Like you have the skills, you have everything. But for some reason, when you go in here, you lose the tool. Like you just leave the tool over here in this category. I'm like, bro, bring that discipline tool, that behavior tool, and just apply it into your relationship, into your fitness, into your finances, into whatever. And just know that it's going to take a while to get good at those again. Like that, it's going to take a while. And
a piece of it is like whatever situation you're in that you're maybe good at or that you're stuck in, let's just say, like you have so for her, she's a teacher. And she teaches pre-K. And I'm like, how many times have you been uncomfortable, like in your environment, right? And she's like, all the time. Like kids say some random shit.
They're hardcore.
Kids do some weird shit, and it makes me uncomfortable because I'm not their parent.
Yeah.
And again, we live in this mentality of like, I mean, if a teacher does anything wrong, they're fucking fired. So she's like, I'm always uncomfortable. Like I'm always walking on eggshells. And I'm like, okay, now how many times have you been uncomfortable nutritionally, hungry, craving something, blah, blah. She's like, all the time.
Bring a good point.
And I'm like, okay, but you still do your job every day, and you still, don't
still
cross any boundaries.
show up.
You still show up. So fight this uncomfortableness over here. Fight this. Oh, I'm hungry. Cool. Sit in it. You're fine. You're 200 pounds. You're not going to wither away. Like you're fine, And so I'm like, just be hungry.
Talk about reframing, right? You just reframed it.
Yeah.
People think they're not mentally resilient. No, people are the most mentally resilient. You work a job you hate for the past 20 years. Yeah. You're fucking resilient, bro. Like, I don't think you understand. Yeah. You are fucking mentally tough.
Yeah.
You are fucking consistent at showing up at something you hate to do.
Yeah.
Just apply that same bullshit. Yeah. Fucking hate to do this thing right here, and eventually over time you're gonna get good at it.
And a lot of times, I do it because I need the money, right? So they'll have like an excuse or a reason why they do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you need to do it over here because you're 200 pounds.
Yeah.
You need to do it over here because you have high blood pressure. You need to do it over here because you have high blood sugar.
They just don't understand the why. My wife we had some close neighbors in Hutto.
That's where I live.
And so we haven't been back there in like 6-7 years. My wife had a birthday party to go to. She ran across the neighbor, older lady, and she was sitting there just, on her front porch. And she's, I think, like 8 years older, and she's like maybe 70 now. And so my wife, stops and she starts talking like, "Hey, Jill," and she doesn't get up. And so my wife's like, "Oh, she must not be able to walk." And so she gets out of the car and they talk. And you're gonna love this because it's nutrition. And then, they start reminiscing and stuff like that. And she's like, I just gone through a bad season. I wasn't able to walk. Something was stiffening up and locking up my hip. And I saw everybody, chiropractors, and went to the doctors, and they want to do surgery. And she's like, then I found like this one guy who's a nutritionist and just says, "Hey, eat 90 grams of protein." And they're like, "Oh my God, that's a lot," right? Like, eat 90 grams of protein and just start moving, even though it feels uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And so I fucking did it. And guess what happened? She started to rebuild the muscle density in her bones to start walking again. And it just, I don't know how this came off topic, but I guess the nutrition of how powerful nutrition was. But because of nutrition and 90 grams of protein and moving, I know why. She would have lived life not being able to walk. And she said, only if I knew that movement and nutrition was this important, I would have done it 30, 40 years ago. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's crazy. Like, I just watched, and I shared it on Facebook, 2 old men. One of them was 80 years old, and they do this acrobatic performance. And the younger one is probably, I would say he looks probably like 65, maybe 70, right? He does a Turkish get-up with the 80-year-old. The 80-year-old's locked in a plank, right? He's locked in a plank, and he's like holding on to like one of his biceps. Yeah. And this dude does a Turkish get-up with the 80-year-old from laying flat on the ground to standing all the way up in a straight line. Yeah. And these dudes are, again, I think the one who did the get-up was about 65, but the one who's locked in on a plank is fucking 80-something years old. And you're just like, bro, I can't even do a Turkish get-up with a 50-pound kettlebell. And this dude's doing it with a 180-pound 80-year-old. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so thinking through, like, we use so many things as an excuse, whether it's age, how we feel, oh, I have pain, so I'm not going to move. And this kind of brings me to my injury, right? So my back's been fucked up. I've
been telling you, no.
So there was a time where I couldn't walk. There was a time, like, you came over that one day and I like stood up from my bench and I was like, I like couldn't get straight because my back was hurting so bad, muscles were firing, I could barely walk. So I took about a week off of no exercise. And then I immediately was like, okay, let's get back in the gym. Let's get moving again, so on and so forth. Like, I can't just not move forever. But trust me when I tell you, every day I wake up, I don't want to move. Yeah. I'm like, this shit fucking hurts. And I have to do it. And I have to move. And everyone's like, well, you're psycho. You should, rest. You should, not hurt it anymore. And I'm like, it's not about hurting it anymore. But it's about, I have to move. Because I'll get stuck. Yeah. And everyone will get stuck. If you don't move for 10 years, you know how hard it is to move that first time? So if you don't exercise for 10 years and then all of a sudden you're like, well, I want to try exercising. You know how hard that first day is going to be? You know how painful it's going to feel? Yeah. But then you do a little bit every single day and you look up in 3 days. It happens quick. People don't realize how quick your adaptations happen with exercise and how good you feel. And so it's like the first day fucking sucked. But 3 months down the road, it's going to be easy. It's going to be way more beneficial than you thought it would have been on day one. Yeah.
I think the frame is people only take action on things that are going to benefit them now, which is the failure, which is why they fail. Many reasons why they fail. And I think the frame that you need to download in your mind is, I'm doing this for the 5-year-old older version of myself, right? I'm not going through all this bullshit that I'm going through for this Jonathan right now. No, I'm doing it for the 38-year-old Jonathan. I'm doing it for the 40-year-old Jonathan. Because when I get there, that motherfucker is going to be jacked and ripped as fuck. He's going to be fucking rich as fuck. And he's going to make massive fucking impact. But in order to get there, the 34-year-old Jonathan has to go through hell.
Yeah. And that's what I told my client. You're dating the 50-pound down version of you. Yeah. That might take a year, 2 years, 3 years for you to lose 50 pounds. But that's who, right now, you're making decisions for that person.
Pay the tax now. It's much lighter because every single day that you don't pay the tax, it only stacks up later and it gets heavier on the road.
Yeah. Pay it now.
Pay it now. End the shit.
Beautiful. Don't work to keep up.
Work to separate.